Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. And we want to go ahead and just continue on from what we were doing last night because the power went out last night, the internet, something happened. I don't know. So, being that we don't talk to each other telepathically anymore, this is the next best thing that I see that's being done. Instead of calling everybody on the phone or going to a concert hall or something, this is a way we can communicate and pass ideas and information on. And it's pretty cool too. So I want to apologize for that last night because that was just one of them freak accidents. So picking up where we left off, I'm just going to start over. Around 2006, 2007, a brother out of New York that many of you know. Like I said, if you don't know him, your parents do, if they're conscious. If they're not conscious, they won't know him. I know gobs of people who don't know him today. And this brother was pretty prominent in the community because he was just sharing information that he felt the community needed to know. See, back at that time, that was big in the community. People cared what people knew because it's bad now on a whole nother level, but back then it was really ugly. And brothers and sisters was out sharing information, be it at a bookstore, health food restaurant. This when all these establishments were owned by the community. 9/11 happened and it kind of killed all that. But about 4 or 5 years later, one of the cats who would always come around, he came to LA all the time, kicking this information. I wouldn't say he resurfaced because communication was kind of tripped back then, like I say, because of 9/11. All these laws and stuff were going into effect. This brother pops back up in about 2007, 2006, 2007. Name was Phil Valentine. He's still out there. He's still out there. If you can find him, look him up, check out some of the stuff he says. Because some of the things he say are some of the things we all need. See, we don't know everything, but all of us know something. You bring all that together and make it work. That's the whole reason behind the word unite. That's why they call you soul people. Because when you're working in agreement with each other, knowing what you know about yourself now and the people that you come from, knowing that, just imagine if you are all on agreement on one thing, what would happen? If you knew, you do know. Why it's not happening, I have no idea. But back around 2006, 2007, he warned us of an incoming demon. I remember this like it was yesterday because he was so ominous in his presentation. he was like, hey, this is about to happen for real. This dude, none of you knew. None of us ever heard the word Barack Obama. I heard it from him first. Get the information, start doing the research on them. I mean, knee deep research, not just reading what the newspaper said, what they said on the radio station, because all that is controlled. You got to know that TV, radio. If you're listening to the TV and radio, you consider yourself a moron. Consider yourself a moron. Radio, morning radio. Are you so you just waking up, getting going started in your day? Your brain got to be tight for the decisions you make, for the ideas you conjure up. You got to be on hit. And if you listen to morning radio, does that help? Does it? Does it help? Back in 2006, 2007, Phil Valentine was warning us. There was probably some other people doing it too, but I hadn't heard of them or it hadn't got to me yet. So that's who I first heard it from, Phil Valentine. What he told us about Barack Obama, most African Americans or Black people ignored. You'll see that's a common thread coming up because this is not at all about Barack Obama. This is about the energy lost. We lost as a kind of energy. You can put it in any facet you want. Life, life, and we're going to explore that as we go on. Many African Americans and Black people have no regard for life. None. And hey, I'm going to go ahead and put the link. So if you want to come up and defend the African American or Black people's plight, you can. Make it short and sweet. You have the opening floor. You have 2 minutes to explain. No yelling, no cooning, none of that bullshit. Come in and make your point. And, and all that, where's the proof? All that. If you telling the truth, we'll know it. Another one of the abilities we've given away. Like I said earlier, the warning he gave was ominous. It was like you knew something was going to happen. You knew something was going to happen. And what he was warning about was an African American savior, somebody who will be posing as an African American. He won't be African American at all. How that plays out later, they ran that. He wanted us. That is one of the motifs we carry around to this day. Nah, he's not we. His mother is not from the same lineage as your mother's from. Is she? We ignored that. He black. What is that? Huh? Huh? You kill your own children. Why is that such a big deal? See, these are the mind fucks that the majority of people get into. Why do the people who were 100% wrong about that, Jesus, voting, whatever, why do those people never say, you know what, my bad. Yeah, I need to really sit down and reevaluate my disposition. And in doing that, they immediately drop the dumb shit and start walking towards the light. The African American, the black, they never do that. They double, triple, quadruple down on it. Act like it doesn't matter to them. They don't care. Isn't that the purpose of all of us are here to work on ourselves, to make ourselves better, not to make the same mistakes we made 10 minutes ago, to better ourselves? Isn't that why all of us are here? That's what I thought. So we can get to heaven. Isn't that why we're here? What you will find with the African American and Black community, their only purpose for being is to be a sock puppet to who's ever wearing them on their hand. We'll get into the proof later because I know a lot. Why are you talking about? This is what we have fucked off too much in the past 100 years, in the past 10 minutes. Bullshitting. You're going to be amazed at what we lost. I'm going to miss some things, but if any of you can know and how to connect that back, please. The link to the stage is in the chat. Like I said before, we don't want to focus on Obama. We want to focus on the period between 2006, 7 to now. And focused on what has happened to the people that call so-called Black African American. What's happened to them? What's happened? And how is every nation on the planet able to walk into your home and do whatever they want, and you're at their whim? How is it that you're mad at that brother for wearing a red t-shirt and you're not mad at that? Explain that. See, when you ask African American or Black questions, they don't know nothing. This is just so you would know it, because those of you who will ignore this, make sure the kids get it. Pass it on to the children. Because as you're going through your life, you're going to realize that you're going to wake up. All you're doing is moving through, and somebody, your son, your daughter, is going to take your place. Like you took your mother and father's place, they're going to take your place. Pass it on to them so they'll have something that they could use for themselves later. That's another problem why when we share information, we lie and bullshit and don't explain nothing and just talk because you learned how to manage the diction well. No, you can't be lying to these kids because look at it now. So, what did we lose? This is just a couple of things. And like I said, if you had something to add, the mic to the chat is in the chat box. This has been lost a long time ago, way before this. But where it got real ugly is with music. How did we lose the music? I mean, like I said, it was lost 20, 30 years before that. But in that period to now, July 23rd, 2005, 9 p.m. at night, from from January 2006 to right now. What happened? How is it that wind instruments are the instruments you use your lungs to blow into, horns, saxophones, trombones, those instruments. When you blow on those instruments, they make a certain sound. They create a certain space that if you can decode it, you can turn them into words. Some people do. Then you have strings, guitar, bass guitar, different styles of guitars, string instruments, drums. What happened to the sounds that those make? You don't hear those sounds no more. You just hear computer generated sounds. What is that doing to the people? I'll wait. Not really. You don't hear those instruments vibrating against each other to create a sound. Now all you hear is computer generated noise. And then the voices on top of the noise. Well, you've heard it. The space music creates gives you space to think, to ponder upon. Somebody's telling you a story. How many times have you heard it? The story about, damn, they said just what I was thinking. How many times has some good music gotten you out of a jam? How many times have music connected you with anybody? Mama, friends, kids. Music creates that space. that allows that to happen. That's one of the things that you've lost in that time. It's gotten worse from that time. Remember, we started at 2006. Also, music made you do something that is rarely done now, is think. Is think. There's no thinking done. There's no thinking. Whatever the TV tells you to do, not you, not the ones listening, but you know what I'm saying. The majority of people only do what the TV tells them to do, right or wrong. People are not even being what they were created to be. They're being some copy of a character in a book, a character on a movie, a character in a video game. Is that what happened? What about another big change that happened? Like I said, it was happening way before, but how it doubled down because that whole Barack Obama thing was to capture your attention and distract you from what was happening to you. Music is one. What about food? How was food chain back in 2006 when you bought something from the store? It didn't say made with bioengineered food or made with bioengineered ingredients. The labels on the food didn't say that back then. Any store you walk into, every item you pick up is going to have that label on it. Is that a change? Is that significant? Is that important? That's what I'm saying. You got to pass this on to the kids because it's going to hit again. There's going to be another change. And the kids, you telling the kids this will make them see what's coming in the future. The food. It's just probably more restaurants than houses in some city. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm here in the deep South, not just knee deep, deep South. You know how many Mexican trucks line the streets? Selling you bioengineered ingredients. And guess who the first one in line just want to eat? Who eats food that they don't even make? They don't grow. And what will happen to the people who continue to do that? What has happened? This dude is telling you that you need to let your son have a gay man as a mentor. You know, people call me not all, I can't believe it. Shut up. You knew it. You knew it and you went with it, didn't you? Didn't you? Because everybody was telling you, because see, truth isn't hidden. Truth walks around cool as a breeze. What happens when the people start to see them come around the corner? They turn their heads. They don't want to hear it. They want to hear what the TV got to say. They want to hear what their rappers got to say. What have those artists turned into? Hmm? What have the artists turned into? You get warnings all over the place. All over the place. In movies, especially, that's how they know they're on top. They put messages in movies, warnings in movies, goes right over the average person's head. What else have you lost? Somebody said mind. No, mind was lost 100 years before this. And I don't like to say this all the time, but like I'm saying, this is not everybody. Because people will get upset that, hey, me, I'm not. If the shoe fits, wear it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, aren't you tired of losing? I'm talking about as a group of people, because people always say, "Oh well, yeah, we not all of it." Oh man, I'm like, you would cheer for a baseball player before you would cheer for yourself with people you call African Americans and black. Yes, they do that. What about life? How much life have you lost, or how much life has you've taken from yourself if you don't think we suffer for that? You, you, you don't think we suffer for that? Life. I just did a video a couple of days ago where somebody put a bee that was dead in a beehive. The other bees, however they communicate, whatever signals they send, brought the bee back to life. Brought the bee back to life. You can see it. It's in the group somewhere. You find this. It's just a couple of videos ago, not even a week old, 2 weeks at the most. You can find it. The other bees brought the bee back to life. And so when we say nature, I mean that's like a bad word to the African American black, because they don't scared of it. Scared of it. Something without, they don't even live. They don't even breathe. but somebody convinced you to be scared of it, and they use that against you daily. So, like I'm saying, the children behind us, they can't be left with the so-called intelligence that roams the Black and African American community. They won't make it. You got to be vibrating on a way higher level than you're vibrating now. So we're still talking about what was lost from 2006 to now. Sound, doesn't that affect your hearing? What about all these people that this is what from 2006 to now? What about all these people getting this computer artificial intelligence hooked up to them? What about that? It's kind of like the BBL. It starts off small, then it starts to grow. I can check your blood pressure from here. Uh, huh? Explain that. You don't think that'll pose a problem later? Letting somebody outside of you control your life through a computer? The meaning of sock puppet becomes more and more clear now. Huh? If you listen in some places, they're talking about all this artificial intelligence, who some people think it's wonderful, magic. Beware. They'll give a machine more credit than they'll give their own thought. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Instead of figuring it out, thinking about it, getting with some cousins, friends, whatever, and bouncing the ideas to where you come up with the best idea, people would rather go give it to a computer. But right or wrong, where do you think that's leading us to? Where's that leading us to? So we're saying this, well, what, to 2025? If you look at time like that, where will it be 15 minutes from now or 15 years from now? The food, it's not a problem to everybody that hospitals make all this money. Everybody goes to the hospital for the littlest thing, and all you got to do is stop eating so damn much. Why do you think you're motivated to eat all the time? Everything is eat, 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 eat. Restaurant. Okay, so I just want to get it from you guys because you guys seem pretty intelligent. I mean, does it bother anybody that there's no so-called Black African American food chain across the United States? Does that bother anybody? With African American and black people, no, it doesn't. They'll just go to one of the foreign places to eat, won't they? American Warrior says, leading us on a path of destruction. I didn't say this is what this brother said. I mean, is he right? Yes. Should we put that in our hat and carry it with us? Yes. Why? So we'll be forearmed. We'll be forewarned. The average person just dismisses it. What Jimmy Walker say? What the movie say? What does MC such and such say? Will give their thinking away to ideas that don't make no sense. But the good part is the churches are closing. That's the cool part. It's not happening fast. So you got to remember it's a lot of people, but it's happening. So a lot of things are happening that you can see are in the favor. This American Indian movement. People are starting to be like, damn, I didn't look at it like that. Yeah, look at it like that. Why are you always moved and somebody is controlling you? Explain that. Nobody ever can. Explain that. Always moved around. Somebody from somewhere else is telling you who you are, and you accept it, swallow it, and regurgitate, regurgitate it back on all of us. And when the simple questions is asked, who are the people that look like the people walking in America all over the world? Go to every country and find the people that mimic the people in action, culture, so you say, that mimic the people here. The thinking person was saying nobody. So where do they come from? Here. We don't get that. How'd you let that slip through your fingers? How'd you let that slip through your fingers? You really wanna know? Look at when brothers start getting guns. You gotta go back a ways. You gotta go back a long way, but it's doable. Look at when brothers start getting other people's weapons instead of making his own. You've lost a lot from that time. And in 2006 to now, how many more lives have you added to that? So I know everybody been seeing the fights on airplanes, cruises, where it's being put around the world that African American or black, we're going to have to do something. They're being a problem. While everybody else is trying to be nice, they're not. You're being set up by being shown that you're not even, we can't live with you. You're a nuisance. That's what's being put out around the world now. You just get emotional with each other. with nobody else. Right? Right? American Warrior says people are slowly starting to see the truth. But yeah, but that's the problem. That's the problem. Slowly starting to see it. When the ice cream truck comes around, you bolt out the door. So how is truth when that's one of the first thing your mama, grandmama told you? Tell the truth, shame the devil. How we starting to slowly see it? Oh, would Barack Obama be one of them? One of the reasons we're slowly seeing it? This cat is telling you to sit on the pedophile's lap, and you just now seeing it. And this information has been out for over 20 years. That's what I mean slowly. So when you say slowly, I get what you're saying. Yeah, we're getting it. Why so slow? I mean, it's a valid question, isn't it? Well, why so slow? What's up with the foot dragging? Huh? And the lives. Imagine that. I don't know if you've ever heard the. I never want to hear this sound again. The sound that a mother or a sister makes when their husband, son is killed, shot in the street like a dog. Have you ever heard that sound? I'm not talking about over the TV or nothing. I'm talking about right there in real life. Have you ever heard that sound? It's not a cry, it's more of a wail. If you hear that sound, you never want to hear it again. When life hears that sound, when nature hears that sound, something is amiss. Something is amiss because we like making mothers, daughters, sisters. I know other people do it too because other people do it because we do it. See, that's how we sound stupid when we talk. We always trying to blame other people for stuff. But the thing is, you do it too. So your hands are tied, literally. You kill each other off. Somebody came and give you a Snickers, you would kill somebody. That's how much you lost. And that's not life. That's just common damn sense. That's why Epstein and Trump can traffic your children. Hey man. And you follow these demons and you worship it, which makes you one of them. That's why you can't move. This pyramid that they got you going up, Your little raise, you moving up the steps, you're trying to be them. You're trying to integrate into their system. That makes you part of the system. How don't you know that? And you got the kids by the hand. Shouldn't at least by now one of the HBCUs are building a car or airplane or something? We talk about how great these institutions are. Where? Where? How are they great? You want your questions answered? You got to ask them. If you ask somebody a question and they do anything but answer your question, they don't know what the hell they talking about. But before you leave that person that you asked the question, you better have some sense. You better be moving in the right direction. Because all these people that you call intelligent and, like I say, got the great diction, the perpendicular circumference of the hypotenuse, people who talk like, ask them simple, basic questions. You'll sound like them to them. What else have we lost? What, health, sound, music? And that single mother, father type thing. So the people that were here before the Europeans got here, were they married? Were they married? What was the family structure like? How was it set up? You should know. I mean, if you're from here, you know, if you're one of those pre colonial, non consenting American Indians not taxed, if you're one of those, you should know. What was the date before the colonizers arrived? What was the date? Nobody knows. But we'll be on a live for 5 hours talking about absolutely nothing. What day? I mean, what month was it? You talking about you indigenous, you got to know that. You have to know that you had a spiritual system already set up. You got to know that. What did you have before the colonizers brought you Christianity? You're saying you're indigenous. Let us hear it. So people ask, well, what language do we speak? And we only ask that question because we hear somebody else say it that's trying to trick you to throw you off. You're speaking the way you spoke then. These people didn't speak how they don't speak like that where they're from. Go to England. They don't speak like you speak. Just go listen to any British conversation. They don't speak how you speak. They have to change their language to get into you. Everybody coming here is influenced by America, the Americans, everybody. Just like if you went to Russia, you would be influenced by the Russians, wouldn't you? You would be eating Russian food. You'd be drinking water from Russia. You'd be all of that in Russia, just like over here. But have you call yourself black to block you out of everything over here? By the way, you do know that A, E, I, O, U are are replaceable vowels. You can replace that vowel. You can replace the A with a O. You can replace the I with an E. You know that. Oh, these are rules of language. We don't teach that in the school no more. You better not even bring it up. Matter of fact, if you do bring it up, you will get laughed at and shouted down and not to speak it. Won't you? By yourself. You will do it. The so-called African American or black. So that's why these monikers were placed on them. So they can be totally confused out of their mind. You never ask yourself, or next ask yourself, how come black people don't never win? How come black people don't have a NBA team or franchise football team? Foreigners are coming over here doing it. How come they can't do it? Ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself those questions. You'll come up with the answer on your own. You are not the physical body. You're inside the physical body, controlling the physical body. That's who you are. But you're bought into a world that if you're wearing a nice gold chain, you got some gold teeth in your mouth, your hair is pressed halfway inside your brain, that's what you worried about. Don't every time you see a pregnant woman that doesn't remind you? No. What have you lost in the past 25 years, 30 years since you've been Obamanized? What have you lost? The AI is in its infancy stages now. From 5 years ago, because AI was out 5 years ago, it has advanced greatly. Pay attention to the little nuances. Pay attention to the sounds that it makes. It's telling you it's not real. Like you're breathing now, you're breathing in oxygen. That's real. Like you got to get up and go pee to release your bladder. That's real. Just like when you take a drink of water to quench your thirst, that's real. Don't let these machines get into your life like that. Many of us are well on our way. Hate yourself so much, you'll let a machine, you'll let a, I mean, most 50.1%, most will let a demon walk in and do whatever they want. Don't pass this down to the children. Obama's telling you to let your son have a yay man as a mentor with all this negative stuff going on. You mean there's somebody out there who's not paying attention? And so notice those people are the ones who say that you're that. This guy gonna tell me I must be a closet homosexual. No, sir. I'm not into being intimate with shit all over the place. That's vomitous. And I'm not trying to end my bloodline. Huh? If that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. And check this out. Go to these, check out these junior high schools. Check out the young men in them. Check out the teachers. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. You were here because somebody got together to get you here. It was a male and a female. Male and female is equivalent to inhaling, exhaling. Huh? Didn't your didn't your culture teach you this? It takes two. That's in everything to create life. Homosexuals don't create life. And check out how they're putting the stigma on it like you can't talk about it. If you bring it up, why, yeah, we can talk about it. And you better have some answers because there's going to be some questions. All that moping off and crying and getting mad, nah, explain. And explain why you think our sons should go that route. Why? You're trying to create another you. That's why they want you to go sit on their laps. Just like you get with a woman or a woman get with a man, they create another one of them. That's the whole thing of that lifestyle. They're, you don't get it. This is what I'm. This one. This is how bad it's gotten. Really? Go now to the women who has been lesbians back in the 60s, Angela Davis, all the chicks without no kids, and look in their eyes. Trying to pretend like, I'm happy. No, you ain't. Produce you. I mean, that, damn. Even the people who don't do that, it happens. Life comes in, whether we like it or not. All these people we have walking around is life. It's created. Nobody was complaining while it was being created. You had fun then, huh? Whee! When you're creating life, it's all fun and games. Taking care of it, making sure that it goes down the right path, making sure it does the right thing is a whole nother story. It don't matter what it look like. I have an uncle that's damn near 90. You know what he finally says? I shouldn't have spent all that time in the military. He dedicated his life to it. So, I'm not one of those, oh, don't worry. Thank you for your service. No. Why did you? And give me an answer. Don't give me no you he was honest. He said he just didn't know what to do with his life. That's what most people say. You are here for a reason. Nobody ever finds out what that reason is. Nobody, well, some people do. I'm not saying nobody. And to be honest, that number is growing exponentially. Why were you born in the middle of Mississippi? Why were you born in Louisiana, South Carolina? What are the minerals there? What are the mines there? What's in abundance in nature there that has to do with you? Like I said, Black people have been turned off from themselves, period. People, I don't care if they're president, when you can hear the disdain when the word Black comes out of their mouth. You've never seen nobody Black. You're not the description of what the word says, yet you still refer to yourself in that manner. And teach your children to do the same thing. Remember, what goes around comes around. So look, this was only supposed to be 5 minutes. I'm sorry I went over. But that when you hear stuff like that Barack Obama getting a male to a homosexual to lead your son, please don't be so stupid. And it's a lot of people who was Barack Obama was their daddy. They're throwing up now. I didn't know. Yeah, you did. Now you no, no. Pay attention to where these people are trying to lead everybody. But also, too, and you got to keep this in mind. Ask yourself questions like, well, how does President Trump don't pay taxes, but I do? Ask yourself that question. Watch the answer you come up with. Also, I want to make an announcement too. A couple of weeks ago, I told a brother uh, to answer a question, and he did. Call me back, man, and I need your address so I can send out uh, what I said I would send you. So please do that. So listen, we're going to end for tonight. But check this out. Everything that you just pay attention to everything that you hear. The less you hear coming from outside yourself, the better. Listen to yourself. What are yourself saying? Think about it. Go on that. What are the people around you saying? Pick out what people are saying to you the most. Because remember, when you go around people, you influence them. Don't matter who, you influence. When they see you coming, hey, there go Bob, what's that? You influence them and they influence you. Pay attention to that exchange and try to stay close to those exchanges that bring out the best in you. We're going to end for the night. We'll see you next time. Peace.